He handed me the pen like it was some kind of gift, black ink. Blue veins. The glint of his Rolex catching the ballroom lights. Sign it, he said, voice low, almost gentle, like a father talking to a child. Behind him, my wife adjusted her pearl necklace. She didn't look at me. On the table, a stack of documents. Patent rights, mine.at. The top, a transfer of ownership, to Tariq Al-Hassan Jr. 17 years old. No education. No experience, but he had the one thing that mattered to them, the right last name. He needs a future more than you, my father-in-law said, his fingers curling around my promotion letter, senior partner, the title I'd worked over a decade to earn. He tore it in half, right there. In front of the board. In front of the guests. My name, split down the middle. The applause died like a candle in a storm, and no one, not even my wife, said a word. 12 years ago, I walked into Al-Hassan Tech with nothing but a folder of code and a hunger to build something. Abdul Rahman Al-Hassan took me under his wing. Gave me scraps dressed up as opportunity. He liked that I was loyal. More importantly, I was useful. 3 years ago, I married his daughter. Was it love? Maybe. Was it leverage? Definitely. That I saw the way he looked at me after the wedding, like I was just another asset locked into his vault. They thought I was harmless, smart, but soft, too grateful to see the walls closing in, but I saw everything. The first red flag came 6 months ago, a line in an internal memo, then another, mismatched signatures on a licensing deal. At 2:03 a.m., my wife's laptop lit up. She'd left it open. An email. From her father. To their family lawyer, patent transfer in place before acquisition. Tariq must own the IP by Q3. Tariq. 17. Dumb as a brick, but with my patents. He'd be a paper genius, and with a buyout quietly being negotiated behind my back, $50 million on the table, he'd be rich too. My heart didn't break. It shifted, something inside me turned cold. Glass. From that moment on, it was war. I cloned their devices, every message. Every file. Every innocent little draft that I sent encrypted backups to offshore servers. Built a digital paper trail they didn't know existed. Timestamps. Witnesses. Email headers. Code commits. I reached out to the acquisition firm through a trusted contact at Hammersmith and Doyle, fed them a new narrative, founder's IP under threat. Potential fraud. Proceed with caution. They bit. I smiled, played the role of the humble genius while they set their traps. Then I waited. At the ceremony, when Abdul Rahman handed me that pen, I didn't resist. I just stared at it. Then at him. Then at my wife. Be smart, son. This is family, he whispered. So I signed, not the documents, just a small signature, on the hidden recorder stitched into my cufflink. Crystal clear audio, threats, coercion, intent to defraud. They thought they'd won. Champagne flowed. Tariq got a standing ovation for doing absolutely nothing, but at 9:04 a.m. the next morning, the acquisition firm released their official offer, $50 million. Licensing rights. Equity. All tied to one clause, offer valid only if the original inventor retains full intellectual ownership. Guess who that was? I made sure that clause was leaked to the board. The press. Every tech journalist who'd ever kissed Abdul Rahman's ring. Then I let the silence do its work. By noon, the company's stock froze. By 2 p.m., lawyers swarmed the building like vultures. Abdul Rahman stormed into my office. Face red, eyes wild. You think you're clever? I know I am, I said without looking up. You think I didn't see this coming? You didn't see me coming. You were nothing, he shouted. I made you. I slid a folder across the table. Recordings. Printouts. An affidavit from a notary who witnessed the forgery. You made me? I said, standing. No. You used me. Now watch what I make of you. His hands trembled as he flipped through the pages. Lawsuits are already filed, I added. Patent fraud. Coercion. Destruction of contract. That he lunged. Security was already waiting outside. That night, my wife called 34 times. That I answered once. She didn't speak. That I did. You knew. Silence. You watched him tear my name in half. More silence. Then finally, I didn't know it would go that far. It did, I said. And so will I. I hung up. By the end of the week, the board voted to remove Abdul Rahman as CEO, Tariq was disqualified from the deal, false representation, his future, as empty as his LinkedIn profile, and me, I took the offer, $50 million. Wired. Overnight, but I didn't stop there. I launched my own firm, hired the best minds in the business, released a statement, no one owns brilliance. You earn it, or you lose it. It went viral, investors swarmed, and every time someone asked about the scandal, I said nothing, because silence was the statement. People think revenge is loud. Explosive, but the most devastating kind. It's quiet. Surgical. Legal. It doesn't scream. It signs. It smiles, and it walks away, while the empire burns behind it. I keep the torn remains of that promotion letter. Framed. In my new office. It reminds me of the day I died in their eyes, and was finally born in mine. Let them choke on the future they tried to steal. I built mine from their ashes.